Would you rather spend months creating an online course that no one buys, or would you rather sell your course and have money in the bank before you even produce it? I know it may seem crazy, but you can actually sell your course before you produce it, and this actually validates the course idea so that you're not creating a course that no one wants to buy. Now, it's certainly not required to pre-sell your course, but you may want to consider it, and in this video, which is the 7th in a series called Creating a Course with Me, we are going to be looking at some advantages to doing so and 10 ways in which you can do that. Okay, so if you have been following along in this series of Creating a Course with Me, then you know that we validated the course topic, we've chosen our target audience, we started building that audience and our email list. So you may want to start thinking about actually pre-selling your course. So this is really helpful in validating the idea that you have, because you can actually talk to the audience that you've been building and see if it's something that they actually want, because you don't want to spend months creating a course that they're not going to buy, right? And it also helps you to actually get some money coming in right away, and that can help with the actual production costs when it comes to producing the course properly after the beta launch. And it also can help with the promotion costs when it comes to actually launching the course itself. So now that we know the benefits, let's look at some ways in which we can actually get this done. The first thing to do is to survey your audience and find out what they want. I think sometimes we can be very focused on what we think people want, and it may not actually be what they would actually want to buy. So I would ask them and find out what would they really want from you in order to help them with their pain points, and this will help guide you as you create your course. The second thing you want to do is to create a waiting list. Now, if you've already surveyed your audience, they are probably aware that you might be thinking about creating a course, and if it's a course on the topic that they have a pain point in, then they may be interested in knowing more about it when it becomes available. So having an opt-in where they can opt in to receive updates and information about the course as it becomes available, so that's the beta launch and all of that kind of thing, then I would totally recommend that, because then you already have a list ready to contact when the time comes for your beta launch to be released. The third thing you want to do is to come up with a detailed outline or plan for your course, and you can do this by obviously taking your own knowledge, but also the questions and feedback that you've received from your audience, and combine that into some modules and lessons. Now, this doesn't have to be perfect. You can tweak it as you go along. As an example, I had an outline of how I thought my modules and lessons were going to be, and then I ended up moving one section from fairly down the bottom right near the top, because I realized that actually people needed that information earlier on than I actually originally anticipated that. So you can definitely move it around as you figure out that actually this would be better over here and this would be better here. So it doesn't have to be set in stone, but at least have an outline so that when you present it to your audience, they can have an idea of what it is that they are purchasing. Also, you want to consider what the name would be and also your pricing. So again, it doesn't have to be set in stone, you can change it, but again, it gives people an idea of what it is that they are purchasing, because if it's just all very vague, I'm going to teach you something about this, then people aren't going to be that excited about it. But if they can see concretely that this is what you're going to be teaching them, and this is probably the name of the course, and this is the price that you're going to be charging once it's fully complete, but for the beta version you're only going to be charging this much, then they're going to be more inclined to actually purchase the beta version, because obviously they're getting a good discount, and also they get to be a part of helping you create the course, because they'll be able to give you that feedback too. The fourth thing you want to do is to determine how many people you need to go through the beta course in order to know that it is validated. So for example, if you just need a couple of people to sign up, then that's great. If you need 10 people to sign up in order to validate your idea, and you maybe only get 2 people, then you may want to go back to the drawing board and see how you can improve your idea. And actually, this is a really good thing. It might feel disappointing at the time, but it's saved you from months of work doing something that people aren't going to be that interested in, that maybe just a couple of people over here might be interested in, but the majority are not. So you can now go back to your audience and start talking to them some more and getting some more feedback. start listening to how they say things, to know how your messaging should be, because maybe your messaging was off, and then put something else together and then try that and see if that works, and keep doing that until you've got whatever it is that you need, the number you need to validate the course idea before you then move on to the next step. This is going to save you a lot of time and money and heartache by producing a course that people just aren't interested in buying. Okay, so once you've done all that, number 5 is to go back to your audience that you surveyed and share the outline with them and see what they think. And it may be that you've included things in your outline that you don't need to include because they're not interested in it, or maybe you missed out some things that they are interested in and they would like you to include those aspects. So that gives you an opportunity to tweak your outline and make sure that it is as good as it can be at this point. And then number 6, you can go back to the audience that have showed interest, and obviously wider beyond that as well, but you can go back to that audience that you've built to say that you have this beta launch coming up and it will be ready very soon. Number 7 is to sell your beta course, and you do want to be transparent that it is a beta course at this point. It is not a fully produced course, and as a result the price is going to be lower, and there are going to be some expectations that you have of your students as they go through the course, such as giving feedback and things like that. So do be transparent when you are selling the beta course and let them know what to expect. Now, there are at least a couple of ways that you can teach a beta course, and one way is to do it live, and you can do this as an intensive where you do it maybe just over one weekend. The nice thing about this is that it's done and dusted and you've got everything you need in order to move forward a little bit more quickly. It can be a little bit intense though, so it can be quite intense for you to be able to deliver that much material, and it can be quite intense for your students to be on the receiving end of all that material as well. So you may want to consider whether that's a good way to go, or whether it's better to do it over a period of a few weeks and not drip the content as such because you're doing it live, but maybe do a 1 or 2 hour live every week where you're teaching something new, which might be a little less intense for you and for your students, and then get their feedback as you go along. And the other option is to pre-record the videos and then drip that out over a period of a few weeks, and you just stay ahead. So if you've got maybe lessons 1 and 2 before you actually pre-sell the course, so that they can start that right away, and then as they're doing lesson 1 you can record lesson 3, and as they're doing lesson 2 you can record lesson 4. So you're staying just a little bit ahead of them, and that might be a good way to go about it as well, especially if you are doing something which requires a lot of demonstrating. So if you are demonstrating cooking or art or craft or anything which might be harder to do in a live setting, you may want to consider doing it as a pre-recorded thing. The thing here is not to focus on the production quality so much as the content. So production quality will come later when you actually record the course officially. Right now you want to focus mainly on the actual content and making sure that the content is what your audience is wanting. So that's the focus of the beta course, and when it comes time to producing the course later you can focus on the production. Number 9 is to make sure that you do get feedback from your students as they go through the beta course. So you do want to take breaks and make sure that you are giving them time to ask you questions, so that you can deal with any mindset blocks, any obstacles that they're coming up against when they're going through the course, and yeah, give that time to be able to get that feedback from them so that you can make those adjustments as you go through the course material. And that will really help you when it comes to producing your course later, is to know what those obstacles were, what those challenges were, and then you'll be able to address them right away in the course, so that when other people go through the course later, when you launch it properly, you've already addressed a lot of those issues already, and they are going to get a lot more out of the course as a result. And also make sure that they do give you testimonials once they've gone through the entire course. They can say, you know, where they were before and where they're at now and how your course has helped them. And if they've got results, that they can share that with you, because this is all going to be really helpful when it comes time to launch your course to the public, in order to have all of that feedback, those testimonials, those results, in order to be able to give credibility to your course to other people who might be interested in purchasing from you. And number 10 is, once you've completed the beta course, is you want to take the feedback and everything that you've received from that experience and start really improving the content. So all the questions and challenges and obstacles and everything that the students that went through it, they faced, you can start addressing those and refining the content in your lessons so that you can really create the best material for your students. And once you've done that, you can then start creating your course. And that's when you're going to start thinking more about the production quality as well. So like I said, the beta course, you're focusing more on the content that you're delivering. And when it comes to creating the course itself, you're going to start thinking more about the production quality. Okay, so I hope that gives you a better idea of how to approach a beta launch. And let me know below if you have done a beta launch for your course, if you've already got a course out there, or if you are planning to do a beta launch, let me know. And if you like this video, please hit that like button, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications on future videos related to creating online courses using video. Stay creative, and we will talk soon.